Behind me is the Versatyre MXT HD, and a set of 35 12.5 R20s will set you back just $1,100. So what we're continuously being asked are, for the money, are they any good? So, the first question that we always want to know, will it do a burnout? And the answer is yes. Actually, they do a fantastic burnout. It's pretty smoky, which I would come to expect out of a tire like this. So, as we said, this is the Versatyre MXT HD. So, it's a little bit of a mouthful. You're gonna want to put your seatbelt on. As we said, this is the Versatyre MXT HD, and a set of 35 12.5 R20s will only set you back about $1,100. Now, that's a pretty attractive price for the tire size and for a set of 4. So we've had a lot of questions about guys asking if they're any good. So we actually reached out to Versatyre, got a sample set in-house here, got them on Bailey's truck. This is 07 to 13 Silverado 1500. He's obviously got a lift kit, he's got track bars, he's got all sorts of good stuff on here, so perfect candidate for a tire review. Now, Versatyre as a whole is a newer brand that hasn't been around super long, but they actually are owned by a much older company, the same company that owns Lux HD and HD Pro wheels. They've been in business since 2011, which is pretty awesome. They started in the wheel game, and then in late 2020 decided that they wanted to launch into tires as well, thus the Versatyre line was born. So inevitably, we do have to cover the fact that this is a mud tire of sorts. It's almost on the boundary of a hybrid tire, and we are driving it on the street, which is probably why you can hear it. Now, before anyone roasts us in the comments about how it's a mud tire and you're not driving off-road, most of the guys that are buying tires like this aren't necessarily running them in the dirt anyway. A lot of guys are buying them for a show setup, which is pretty common with a lot of tires in this size, and Versa really plays into that market quite well. So let's talk a little bit about the tire itself. When I look at the MXT HD, what you see is it has this really aggressive V-shaped center tread pattern that's very directional. It's very unique to the Versatyre lineup. It has those V-shaped angular blocks right up the middle of the tread, and then there's a pretty good sized void, and then a pretty aggressive shoulder block on the outside. Now that's gonna roll over. You're gonna see a really aggressive sidewall design that really gives you that show look, as Versatyre really has intended these tires to do so, is to be a super kind of showy but off-road looking wheel, or tire, excuse me, and they do a really good job of that. When you look at this tire, it's gonna have a really square sidewall, again playing into that show style look, really made for those 12 wides, 14 wides, and even 16 wides, which actually plays really well into this next conversation piece, which is what sizes are they available? Versatyre is gonna have your 33 12.5 R20s, 35 12.5 R20s, but their main focus is going to be those niche specialty sizes, similar to what we've seen out of like Fury and some of those other manufacturers that really make tires sized for and designed for wider wheels without being super big in diameter. This particular truck is on a 36 14.5 R24. So again, a really square shoulder setup tire. Looks really good on this one, as you guys saw before, and as you can see as we overlay some of the roller footage here, but just a really solid, dependable looking tire, very aggressive, looks really good rolling down the highway, and it's directional to boot, so pretty awesome there. All right, so we're coming up to the roundabout here, which is a super common thing if you're from Wisconsin. Apparently some of the southern states don't have those. But anyway, we're gonna do the decibel test now. So if this is your first tire review you're watching from us, we actually have I have an app on my phone that I'm gonna start screen recording here, because if I don't, Chalk's gonna be mad at me. But we're gonna take an actual recording of the sound level. So first we're gonna stop here at the roundabout, we're gonna get an idle decibel reading, and we'll go from there. So right about 51, 52 decibels, not super loud. Again, for reference, we usually say 80 decibels is considered your alarm clock. So it's pretty loud in all other common terms. But again, 52 decibels, not super loud, a little bit louder than we've seen some of the other trucks that we've done tire reviews in, but nothing crazy. So we're up to about 40 miles an hour now. And in just a second, I'm gonna stop talking. We're gonna see where that, that noise level goes. So already at 40 miles an hour, we're up to about 69 to 70 decibels. A little bit louder than some of the other tires on the market, but again, something that I would be completely comfortable with given the fact that this is a mud tire. It's made to be aggressive, it's made to look aggressive, and with those massive center tread voids, you are gonna get a little bit more noise. So nothing super crazy. We're gonna kick her up to about 70 here and see what kind of noise we got at highway speeds. Get the paddle out, boys. So we're about 75 decibels as we get up to speed there. So again, not super loud, but it is a little bit louder than some of maybe your hybrids or your all-terrain tires on the market. Again, super expected, not super surprised by that. I gotta say, in the cab, it's not super bad. A lot of times you'll see tires like this will make a lot of really obnoxious humming noise. This is more of a subtle kind of hum, for lack of a better term, but it really isn't obnoxious. I did have to raise my voice a little bit. Like I said, we're about 75 decibels overall, so a little bit louder than some of the other tires on the market, but not super bad. This truck's got an aftermarket exhaust on it. You can still hear the 5.3 screaming clear as day. Nothing super crazy there. So again, not terrible, really manageable, super solid tire choice if road noise is your concern, as long as you're willing to account for the fact that it is a mud tire. So let's talk about Versatyre as a company. I know we touched on it just a little bit before, but we always like to give you guys a little bit of history on the company and who you're buying from. So Versatyre, again, is actually owned by Lux HD and or Lux Pro and HD Pro wheels. So a company that's been in business since 2011. They actually employ over 70 employees worldwide and are headquartered in the good old state of Texas, actually right out of Dallas. Again, while that specific business has been founded since 2011, they've been in the overall wheel and tire game since about 2005. So 16 years now is quite a bit of history, and they actually started, believe it or not, in the ultra high performance tire market, not in the truck tire market. So talking about tires and maintenance, of course, this is a mud tire. It's a little bit softer mud tire at that, which you saw by the rowdy burnout we just did a couple of minutes ago. So for best life out of this tire, we do recommend rotating it pretty regularly. Most guys are rotating between 5,000 and 10,000 miles, and that really helps them get that extra mileage and extra life out of their tires as they wear super evenly. So we talked about the tire, we talked about the company, we talked about the sizes, we even did a really rowdy burnout. So at the end of the day, would we recommend this tire? The answer is yes. The Versatyre MXT HD is a fantastic tire. Versatyre has been a company that we've worked with really for a couple of years now, and really since the beginning of Versatyre, and it's been a fantastic tire option for those of you guys that are looking for specialty unique sizes without looking to break the bank. So super fantastic tire. We really like them. They ride really good. Overall, just a solid option for the money. So remember, if you want to check out Versatyre's lineup, be it the MXT, MXT HD, one of these times I'm going to get that right, I swear to God, or any of their other tires, you can do all of that at customoffsets.com. And with that, we'll see you on the next one.